Imagine this, a city where the same handful of people keep getting arrested, released, and arrested again, while ordinary families lock their doors tighter, change their routes home, and wonder why the system keeps putting the same predators back on the street. Welcome to Right Now Hot Takes. I'm Jim Rand, your host. If you appreciate thoughtful conversations like this, welcome to the podcast. Leave a 5-star review. It helps more people discover the show, and it helps us keep these conversations going. Thank you for listening. I love this country. I love the American idea that people are free to build, to work, to raise families, and to live without constant fear of the next career criminal who should still be locked up. President Trump just put a number on something a lot of people have believed for years. Roughly 2% of the people are responsible for about 91% of the crime. Think about that. Not 20%, not half, 2%. A tiny group of chronic, repeat offenders drives the overwhelming majority of the violence, the theft, the chaos that makes neighborhoods unlivable, and young people anxious about their future. This isn't a new discovery. It's one of the most consistent findings in criminology. The famous Philadelphia birth cohort studies followed thousands of boys. Just 6% accounted for more than half of all offenses. Those same chronic offenders drove most of the serious violence, the murders, the rapes, the robberies. A Swedish study of millions of people found that 1% of the population accounted for 63% of all violent crime convictions. Meta-analyses keep arriving at the same conclusion. The pattern holds across cities, across countries, across decades. Crime isn't randomly sprinkled across the population. It's heavily concentrated. Most Americans never commit a serious crime. Most people who are arrested once don't keep offending, but a hardcore does. They stack arrests the way other people stack job applications. And every time the system treats the latest offense as if it were the first, the rest of us pay the price. Look at the real-world numbers. In New York City, a few hundred people have been responsible for thousands of shoplifting arrests. A few dozen habitual offenders have accumulated thousands of subway arrests between them, and many were still on the street. While across the country, a tiny fraction of known offenders drive most shootings. When police and prosecutors focus on those names, violence drops. When they stop, it comes back. The soft approach has been tried. Cashless bail, early release programs, prosecutors who treat long criminal histories as less important than the newest charge. The theory was compassion. The results have been measurable, and in too many places, ugly. Victims got less protection. Career criminals got more chances. The neighborhoods that could least afford the chaos paid the highest price. Young Americans feel this every day. You change your route after dark. You think twice about the apartment near the bus stop. You see the same faces, the same rap sheets, the same words, released pending trial. That isn't abstract policy. That's the difference between feeling safe enough to walk home, take a night class, or start a business. The American system works best when it protects the productive majority and removes the small group that repeatedly preys on them. Incentives matter. If the consequence for the 10th felony feels like the consequence for the first, why would the offender stop? If the system starts treating the record as the record, the math changes. Fewer victims, safer streets, more freedom for everyone else. This isn't about being cruel. It's about being clear. Most people deserve second chances. A first-time, non-violent offender is not the same as someone with 14 prior arrests. Treating them the same isn't compassion. It's abandoning the next victim. Focused enforcement works. When cities concentrate on the chronic few, serious crime falls. Washington, D.C. recently showed what can happen when the worst repeat offenders are removed. Crime dropped sharply. People noticed. That's results. So what does practical toughness look like? Judges, Use the tools you already have. Stop treating long criminal histories as irrelevant. Higher bail for repeat violent offenders. Longer sentences when the law allows. Stop the revolving door. District attorneys, charge the chronic offenders aggressively. Use the data. The names are known. The patterns are clear. Elected officials, support law enforcement, support focused deterrence, end policies that repeatedly release high-risk offenders. If public safety matters, back the people responsible for protecting it. We keep hearing that we can't incarcerate our way out of crime. We don't need to lock up half the population. We need to stop releasing the small percentage responsible for most of the harm. 2% is manageable. 91% of the crime is not. For young listeners especially, don't accept the idea that public safety is somehow outdated. Order is the foundation that allows free people to build a future. When the system protects predators instead of productive citizens, the American promise shrinks. When it focuses on the chronic few, the rest of us get our neighborhoods and our confidence back. The evidence has been clear for decades. A tiny group drives most of the damage. Get them off the street. Keep them off the street long enough for everyone else to live without looking over their shoulder. That isn't extremism. That's basic responsibility. This has been Right Now Hot Takes. I'm Jim Rand. See you next time.
Join us for the Rand Report, a daily breakdown of professional and college sports the way they actually are. No fluff, just the heat. If you love sports, you will love the Rand Report podcast. Links in the show notes. Subscribe today.